Welcome to my video lecture. I am Dr. A. Velmurugan, Associate Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Government College of Engineering, Chettikare, Dharmaburi. In this video lecture from upcoming semester, from Automobile Engineering, from Unit 5, Alternative Energy Sources, from Module 3, we can discuss about the performance, emission and combustion in the internal combustion engines. From Module 3, we can discuss about the performance, combustion and emission characteristics of spark ignition engine and combustion ignition engine with these alternative fuels. So from this slide, we can discuss about the various performance parameters used for the internal combustion engine. So generally, that is a brake power, torque, fuel consumption, specific fuel consumption, brake mean effective pressure, indicator mean effective pressure, indicated thermal efficiency, brake thermal efficiency, mechanical efficiency, volumetric efficiency, and heat balance. From this model, we can discuss about only from the brake thermal efficiency, brake specific fuel consumption, and exhaust gas temperature. So from this slide, we can see about the economic load conditions. So how to find out the economic load means from this graph, we can see from the x-axis that is a brake power, from y-axis brake thermal efficiency and a specific fuel consumption. From that low load condition, the brake thermal efficiency is lower. If you increase the load means the brake thermal efficiency also increasing, but in the particular point, the maximum thermal efficiency will be happen. So simultaneously, the brake specific fuel consumption also decreasing. From that particular point, that is a minimum specific fuel consumption will be occurred. So in between these 2 points is known as the economic load conditions. So next slide, we can discuss about the some of the performance parameters based upon the load curves in the load test of the internal combustion engine. From x-axis, that is a brake power. From y-axis, we can using the brake mean effective pressure, indicator mean effective pressure, torque, indicated thermal efficiency, and the mechanical efficiency. For example, you can see the mechanical efficiency from the low load conditions, that mechanical efficiency will be gradually increasing, but in the particular full load condition, the mechanical efficiency will be decreasing. But in that indicator mean effective pressure, from the low load condition, the pressure will be gradually increasing. From the full load condition also, that is indicator mean effective pressure, that brake mean effective pressure, torque also increasing. But in the indicated thermal efficiency, from the low load condition, the indicated thermal efficiency is higher, but in the full load conditions, that indicated thermal efficiency is lower. So next slide, we can discuss about the fuel air ratio and the emissions. So generally from the internal combustion engine, these are all the major emission. One is a carbon monoxide emission, another one is hydrocarbon emission, another one is oxides of nitrogen emission. So generally the carbon monoxide emission is a colorless gas about the same density as the air. So this carbon monoxide emission is a poisonous gas which inhaled or replace the oxygen in the bloodstream, so that the body metabolism cannot be function correctly. Here the small amount of CO concentration when breathed in slow down and physical and mental activity, it produces the headaches, while large concentration it will be killed. So generally the unburned hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide emission is poisonous gases. So based upon this figure, we can see from the x-axis that is a air fuel ratio, from y-axis that is oxides of nitrogen, carbon monoxide and hydrocarbon. From here we can show about the dotted line, that is a stoichiometric air fuel ratio. From the stoichiometric air fuel ratio means we get the 15% oxygen and 1% fuel is used for the enter to the combustion chamber. From here, that is from the left hand side, that is a lean air mixture. From the right hand side, that is a rich air mixture. So you can see the carbon monoxide emission. From the carbon monoxide emission, that is from the lean air conditions, because of from here the more oxygen is present, so that condition the carbon monoxide emission is very less. If we go to the rich mixture condition, the carbon monoxide emission will be highly present. So same thing happen on the hydrocarbon emission also. From the lean condition, the hydrocarbon emission is lower, but in the it goes to rich condition, that hydrocarbon emission is higher. From the oxides of nitrogen, from the lean air condition, from the low load conditions, from the temperature less on the compression and combustion chamber means the oxides of nitrogen is very low, but from the temperature will be increasing from the complete combustion stages and the stoichiometric air condition stages, we get the better combustion. So automatically the oxides of nitrogen will be increasing increasing. So from the time that is oxides of the nitrogen will be highly increased if the rich conditions the oxides of the nitrogen is lower, because of here the oxygen is very low from the rich conditions. So next slide we can see about the photographic view of the photographic image of the that is hydrocarbon emission is present on the atmosphere. So this images we can tell about that is a photochemical smog. So generally from the hydrocarbon emission is a major component of the motor vehicle emissions. From the hydrocarbon emission is react with the other component of the atmosphere, we get the photochemical smog. So next emission is that is a carbon monoxide emission. That a carbon monoxide emission is produced during the combustion when there is not enough oxygen is present on the combustion chamber. Means automatically the hydrocarbon carbon monoxide emission will be increasing. So we get the from the air fuel mixture is proper air fuel mixture is entered to the combustion chamber. Then only we get the complete combustion, and also we can less the carbon monoxide emissions. If the air fuel ratio is lower, means automatically the carbon monoxide emission is present. So the carbon monoxide emission is a poisonous gases, because of if the human being will be inhaled or respiratory system is totally affected, and also the disease are happen, that is a tuberculosis or carcinoma disease are happen on the human beings. So next emission is oxides of nitrogen. From the oxides of nitrogen, generally in that air, that is a nitrogen is 78% and oxygen is 21%. If that engine is operating on the high temperature and high pressure, combustion will be happen on the internal combustion engine. Means automatically the nitrogen from the air is combined with oxygen, it will be produce the oxides of nitrogen. So from that the engine is operating on the high temperature, so that the oxygen is the nitrogen is present, it is formed on the mixing of the oxygen, mean automatically the oxides of the nitrogen will be increasing. So the oxides of nitrogen can be produced in the any operating on the internal combustion engines. So next slide we can discuss about the stages of combustion in the SI engine. From this slide we can see about the theoretical P theta diagram. So generally from the theoretical P theta diagram is the ideal conditions. From the ideal condition, from the process A to B is a compression process, from B to C is a combustion process, from C to D is a expansion process. We can see about the actual engine, it is not happen. So from now we can see about the actual engine, that is a stages of combustion in the SI engine. Here we can see about the pressure variation due to the combustion in the practical engines. So from the practical engine, what will be happen means the first stage is ignition lag period from the stages of A, from the point A to B. So next stage is from B to C, that is a propagation of the flame propagation period. From the process C to T, that is a after burning period. From here, that is a generally what will be happen on that spark ignition engine. Means from here that air fuel molecule is homogeneously enter to the combustion chamber. From the end of the compression stroke, with the help of the spark plug, the spark will be quenching on the all the hydrocarbon molecules. So from the crank angle, that is the x-axis, from here the pressure is a y-axis. So from the before TDC, with the help of the spark plug, to the spark will be quenching on the hydrocarbon molecules. From this process known, from this period is known as ignition lag period. That the ignition lag period is clearly mentioned, that is a from the point A to B, that is a ignition lag period. From here we can show this dotted line, this curve name as a motoring curve. Without any combustion we can rotate the engine, means some amount of pressure is available in the combustion chamber. So minimum pressure is around 10 bar pressure is available in the combustion chamber. So next period is a B to C, that is a flame propagation period. Here the start of combustion will be started from the point B. Here the hydrocarbon molecules are, with the help of the spark plug, the pressure will be rising. From here the rate of pressure is rising gradually, it goes to B to C. From the maximum pressure will be happen from the point C. So next one is a C to B, that is after burning period. So if the proper air fuel mixture is not entered to the combustion chamber, means automatically from this period, from the C to T, that is after burning period, from this period only that will be happen of the pre-ignition or detonation or knocking will be happen. So if the pre-ignition or knocking will be happen, means if the pre-ignition means if the from the engine part, that is from the spark plug or from the piston, we can make the hole, or sometimes it will be cracking on the cylinder walls. So next slide, we can discuss about the combustion in the CA engine. So generally from the CA engine, how to the atmospheric air is entered to the combustion chamber means the ambient air is entered to the combustion chamber. From the suction stroke, the atmospheric air is entered to the combustion chamber. From the combustion chamber, that is atmospheric air is below the atmospheric level, then only the atmospheric air is entered to the combustion chamber. Next stroke is that is a compression stroke. For the stroke, that is a from the inlet valve and the exhaust valve will be closed. For the time the piston is moving from top bottom dead center to top dead center, from the end of the compression stroke with the help of the fuel injector to inject the molecules, so that the fuel droplet will be penetrating the high temperature and high pressure air, so we get the vaporization and self ignitions, automatically the combustion will be started. So from that CA engine we get the that is a not homogeneous mixture is entered to the combustion chamber. From the combustion in the CA engine, the combustion is takes place any other points simultaneously, and the number of flame generator are also main. So generally from the stages of combustion, the stage CA engine means there is a four stages. The first period is ignition delay period or free flame combustion. Second one is uncontrolled combustion. Third one is a controlled combustion. Fourth one is after burning period. So you can see this image. So from this figure we can clearly shown from the x-axis that is a crank angle, that is a theta. From y-axis that is a pressure value. So generally we can tell about this graph is a p theta diagram. From here the combustion will be increasing. So already I told about it from the four stroke C engine, that is a suction, compression, combustion, expansion and exhaust. So from this slide we can discuss about only for the combustion. From the period of A to B, that is a ignition delay period. From the B to C, that is a uncontrolled combustion. From the C to D, that is a controlled combustion. From the stages of D to F, that is a after burning period. So from the start of injection, that is ignition delay period means nothing but that is start of injection and start of combustion. So this dotted line show that is a motoring curve. So how we can it is a, so from without any combustion, if we rotate the engine means some amount of pressure is present on the combustion chamber. So that's why this pressure value is around 30 bar pressure. From the ignition delay period is a start of injection and the start of combustion. From the delay period is happen from the start of injection is before TDC from the crank angle of 18 degree. So from the start of combustion is started from the before TDC from the 11 degree. So in between this period is happen from the timing is 0.001 second, that is a ignition delay period. After that from the process of B to C, that is uncontrolled combustion. For that stage with the help of this injector inject the fuel, that fuel droplet will be penetrating the high temperature high pressure air. So from that stage we can show why we have to show the red color line means from this time, from this period, any other place the combustion will be started. So that's why we can show that is an uncontrolled combustion period from the CA engine. So next stage is that is a pressure will be gradually increasing from the period. That period is known as a controlled combustion. Next from the stages of D to F is the after burning period, that is the expansion period. So next slide we can discuss about the properties of diesel and vegetable oil. So in this module we can discuss about the performance, combustion and emission used for the that is alternative fuels. So generally we know about the fuel properties. So from the diesel we know the property viscosity is 4.8 centimeters and the density is 0.845 and the heating value, that is a calorific value, is 44,870 kilojoules per kg. And also from the diesel engine the ctn number is very important, 49.6. So as I told about earlier, that is some of the alternative fuels are used for the internal combustion engine from the blend percentage. So we can using the Jatroba, Magua and the Pungami oil is a non-edible oil, and also we can using the edible oil also. So generally we can do the process, we make the alternative fuel for the non-edible oil means. So the common process is transesterification process. From the transesterification process we can add the catalyst, that is a methanol and potassium permanganate, that is a KOH. So we can get the final product is that is a Jatroba methyl ester, Magua methyl ester and Pungami methyl ester. So if you operate that this biodiesel in the internal combustion engine means, generally we can know about the parameter, that is a, so for that oil is that viscosity is high and density also high. So that's why with the help of the transesterification process we can reduce the viscosity. So in the raw oil, Jatroba oil, we get the the dynamic viscosity is 81.5 centipares. But after the completion of the process, that is a jet-turbo-methyl ester, we get the centipares, that is a viscosity is almost 4.5, 4.1. This 4.1 is the nearer to the diesel viscosity. So after that, we can using this fuel is blended with diesel, that is a we can operate the engine without any engine modification. That B20, B40 blend oil is used to the internal combustion engine to run the engines. And also we can to find out the various parameters, that is from that if you using this alternative fuel for the internal combustion engine mean the main important parameters, that is the dynamic viscosity, density, and calorific value, and C10 number. So and also nowadays we can using the edible oil also. So edible oil also we can using with the help of the transesterification process to make the biodiesel and blend with the diesel to run the internal combustion engines. So next slide we can discuss about the performance parameter. As I told about earlier, we can discuss about the performance parameters. These three parameters very important. One is a brake thermal efficiency, another one is a brake specific fuel consumption, another one is exhaust gas temperature. So from this graph we can see this x-axis, that is a brake power, from y-axis the brake thermal efficiency. From here we can using the different alternative fuels, that is a diesel as a sole fuel, natural gases, LPG, ethanol, and hydrogen, and biodiesel. So from here ethanol, that is ethanol is blended with the diesel, and also that biodiesel also blend with diesel, and LPG also blend with gasoline, and natural gas also blend with gasoline. So we can find out these various parameters from the to operating fill the engine to operating the engine. After we can find out the brake thermal efficiency parameters. From here we can directly given from the combination of gasoline engine and diesel engines. From here the natural gases LPG and ethanol is blend with diesel, and ethanol is blend with petrol. So if we have blend with ethanol to petrol mean that is a emulsification process, and directly we can tell about that is a gasol. So from that emulsification here we can add petrol. From that ethanol means we can add the catalyst, that is water is a catalyst. After that is that fuel is used for the petrol engine to run the petrol engines. So in that Brazil we can using nowadays from that E25 and E15. E15 means nothing but 25% ethanol and 75% diesel to blend with vehicles and to run the engines. So from here we can see about the, as I told about earlier, from if you increase the load means automatically the brake thermal efficiency also increasing. From the full load condition the maximum thermal efficiency will be happen. So for that content simultaneously from here from the fuel, that is a diesel will be diesel, and hydrogen is a maximum thermal efficiency for that in this curve. So next slide we can discuss about the brake specific fuel consumption. As I told about you earlier, from the economic load condition, if the brake thermal efficiency will be increasing means simultaneously the minimum brake specific fuel consumption will be happen. From the low load condition the maximum specific fuel consumption will be available. From the full load condition we get the minimum specific fuel consumption. From here from this based upon this oil we get the better fuel consumption is available in the hydrogen and the diesels. So next slide we can discuss about the comparison of the exhaust gas temperature. So how the exhaust gas temperature, I mean we get the better combustion, and also from that hydrocarbon molecules we can the rich compound. Automatically that the engine will be high temperature is operating, and also we get the complete combustions. From here we can using the diesel and natural gases, LPG and ethanol, hydrogen and diesels. So we get the find out the parameters from the exhaust gas temperature. From here the full load condition, the engine will be operating on the full load condition. Automatically engine became the high temperature present on the engines. So next slide we, as I told about earlier, so from this slide we can discuss about the hydrocarbon emissions. So from that engine, if you using these fuels in that internal combustion engine means, from here we can see about the major emissions are hydrocarbon emission, carbon monoxide emission, oxides of nitrogen. Finally we can discuss about the smoke. So from here we can using the different fuels to operate the internal combustion engine. From the full load conditions that is a that the emission will be increasing because of that is absence of oxygen. Automatically the emissions are increasing. So next slide, we can discuss about the carbon monoxide emission. From here, simultaneously, from the carbon monoxide emission also increasing because of that is a from the low load conditions that the carbon monoxide emission is that is a lower from the diesel, but other fuels are that is carbon monoxide emission is increasing in the lower load condition. But in that full load condition, the carbon monoxide emission is drastically reduced because of that is a better combustion is present on the internal combustion engines. So next slide, we can discuss about the composition of oxides of nitrogen. As I told about you earlier, from the air, that is a 78% oxygen and 21% is that is 78% nitrogen and 21% is oxygen is present. So for that condition, the engine is operating on the high temperature, so we get the better combustion, means that oxides of nitrogen will be increasing from the full load conditions because of the high temperature the engine is running. So for that condition, we get the better combustion. So for that condition, the oxides of nitrogen also increasing. So next slide, we can discuss about the smoke density. So already we can analyze the smoke density with the help of the Astage smoke meter. That is a separate smoke meter. We can analyze the smoke level because of from the different types of smokes are present. That is a black smoke, white smoke, and a gray smoke. So depending upon the category, from that using the alternative fuels for the internal combustion engine, means here the smoke is present. If the smoke is higher from the biodiesel, because of from the biodiesel is higher viscosity compared to other fuels, so that's why the smoke level will be highly in the biodiesel. So next we can discuss about the cylinder pressure. As I told about you earlier, so from that combustion, we can discuss about the combustion in the internal combustion engine, means from the x-axis that is a crank angle, from y-axis the cylinder pressure. As I told about you, from the CA engine there is a 4 stages will be happening. That is the first stage is ignition delay period, second stage is uncontrolled combustion, third stage is controlled combustion, fourth stage is after burning period. So we can using the different fuels from the internal combustion engine, and also we can find out the cylinder pressure. From here we can the maximum cylinder pressure is happen on the hydrogen because of the hydrogen heating value is very high. So from here we can using the hydrogen in from the engine is from the inlet manifold, that the hydrogen and the air is blended enter to the combustion chamber. After that the maximum pressure is around 70 bar per share. So next slide, we can discuss about the maximum heat release rate. So from that, as I told about it simultaneously, if the cylinder pressure will be increasing, means from that engine, the maximum heat release are also increasing. So this will be happen on the from the stages of uncontrolled combustion. As I told about it, from the stages of combustion, from the ignition period, from the ignition delay period, that is start of injection and the start of combustion. From that uncontrolled combustion period only, we get the maximum heat release rate happen. So after that, if that goes to the maximum rate, automatically the rate of pressure rise will be decreasing. So next slide, that is a thanking.